Hello, and welcome to Module 6 Client Acquisition and Relationship Management. I am excited to kick off the first part of this module where we'll be diving into lead generation strategies. In today's competitive landscape, attracting and securing new clients is critical to the growth of your recruitment business. Whether you're a seasoned recruiter or just starting out, having an effective strategy for generating leads can make all the difference. Throughout this session, we'll explore the foundational strategies that help recruiters identify, engage, and convert potential clients into long-term partners. We'll cover methods ranging from traditional networking to more advanced digital lead generation techniques. Before we jump in, let's take a moment to reflect on the previous modules where we focus on refining your recruiter brand, sourcing candidates, and mastering interviewing techniques. Now, we shift focus to the other side of the recruitment business, how to consistently bring in clients and manage those relationships. Let's get started with today's agenda. Today's session will dive into lead generation techniques that every recruiter can use to attract and engage potential clients. We'll begin with networking, discussing how to leverage in-person or virtual events to generate leads. Whether through industry conferences or local meetups, networking remains one of the most powerful ways to create meaningful connections. Next, we'll explore cold calling, which despite the rise of digital tools is still an effective method for reaching out to new clients when done right. I'll share tips on how to craft cold calling strategy that is both respectful and impactful. We'll then move on to email marketing, a critical tool for staying top of mind with potential clients. You'll learn more to how to build an email list, create targeted campaigns, and follow up effectively. Finally, we'll wrap up with strategies to build a strong pipeline so you can maintain a steady flow of leads. This is the key to ensuring that your client acquisition efforts stay consistent even on slower periods. By the end of this session, you'll have actionable steps to implement each of these techniques and build robust pipeline of potential clients. Let's dive in. Now that we've set the stage with our agenda, let's dive into our first lead generation technique, networking. Even in today's digital age, networking both in person and virtual is the most effective ways to generate high quality leads. Let's take industry conferences as an example. When you attend a conference or webinar related to your target industry, you are surrounded by professionals who could benefit from your services. These events offer perfect opportunity to introduce yourself and learn about the challenges companies are facing, challenges you might help to solve. For instance, a recruiter who attended a local tech meetup. Rather than diving straight into talking about her services, she may engage in meaningful conversation with few business owners. You can offer helpful industry insights which can spark genuine interests. One of those connections may eventually become a long-term client or because not because you push for the sale, but because you focus on building a relationship first. This brings up to an important point. Networking is about relationships, not just contacts. It's tempting to go to events and collect as many business cards as possible, but that's not the goal. It's about making meaningful connections. When you show genuine interest in others' business and offer value, whether it's insights, advice, or connections, you build trust. The trust is what eventually turns connections into clients. Finally, let's not forget the importance of the follow-up. After you meet someone, sending a thoughtful follow-up email, perhaps sharing an article related to something you discussed, can go a long way in keeping the conversation alive. I've seen recruiters turn casual conversations into contacts simply by maintaining consistent, thoughtful follow up over time. So, here's my question for you. What's one networking event or virtual group you've attended that led to a great lead? How do you maintain that connection? Let's take a few minutes to share some examples before moving on to the next strategy. Now that we've explored the power of networking, let's shift to a more direct approach: cold calling. Cold calling may seem old fashioned to some, but it's still one of the most effective ways to reach potential clients when done right. The key is to craft a strategy that doesn't feel like a hard sales pitch. Before you make a single call, it's essential to research your prospects. You need to understand their business, industry, and specific challenges so that your call feels personalized and relevant rather than generic. When structuring your call, start with a concise and clear introduction. Something like, "Hi, I'm Kai, a recruiter specializing in helping companies in SaaS business find top talent. I notice your company has been growing and I'd love to discuss how we might support your hiring efforts." From there, shift the focus to the client's pain points. Instead of immediately talking about your services, ask insightful questions like, "I see your company has expanded rapidly in the last year. How are you finding the talent to keep up with that growth?" This opens a door for a more meaningful conversation and positions you as a problem solver rather than a salesperson. Cold calling isn't without its challenges. You will likely face objections. Client might say they don't need help or are already working with another firm. The best way to handle this is to be prepared with a response. For example, if they say, "We already have a recruitment agency," you can respond with a, "That's great. Many of my clients also work with multiple agencies to ensure they're accessing the best talent pool possible. Perhaps we could discuss how my approach complements your current effort." What's one challenge you've encountered with cold calling, and how have you handled it? Let's share a few strategies before moving on to our next lead generation technique. Now that we've covered networking and cold calling, let's move on to a more scalable strategy: email marketing. While cold calling is one to one, email marketing allows you to reach a larger audience while still maintaining a personal touch. The success of an email campaign hinges on two main factors: attention grabbing subject lines and valuable content. Your subject line is the first thing a prospect sees, so it needs to be enticing. Think about offering something that solves a problem or sparks curiosity. For example, instead of writing "recruitment services available," try something like, "Struggling to find the top talent? Here's a solution." Once you've hooked them with the subject line, your email content should offer value. Don't just list your services. Address the specific needs and challenges your potential client might be facing. If you're reaching out to a tech company, you might reference the current demand for niche technical roles and how your expertise can help them fill those gaps quickly. The real secret sauce to email marketing is personalization. Generic mass emails don't work nearly as well as personalized messages. Use the recipient's name, reference their industry, and tailor to the content so it feels like you've crafted the email specifically for them. Tools like CRM systems or email marketing software can help automate some of the personalization while still keeping it highly relevant. And let's not forget the follow up. It's not enough to send one email and wait for a response. Develop a systematic follow up strategy where you check in a few days later with a reminder or a new angle to your message. Persistent pays off, and consistent follow ups show that you are genuinely interested in helping. Now that we move on to our final topic, have you tried email marketing for lead generation? What's been the most effective approach or technique you've used to engage clients? Let's share some best practices. With our exploration of networking, cold calling, and email marketing complete, let's now focus on building a strong pipeline of potential clients. A well maintained pipeline is essential for sustained business growth. The first step is to develop a lead nurturing strategy. This involves establishing a clear process for staying in touch with potential clients over time. Think of it as a series of touch points where you provide valuable information, check in periodically, and continue to build the relationship. This could include sending industry insights, sharing relevant case studies, or simply staying in touch with your periodic updates. CRM tools are invaluable in managing this process. They allow you to track interactions, set reminders for follow ups, and segment your leads based on various criteria. By using CRM, you can ensure that no lead falls through the cracks and that you maintain organized and effective communication with all prospects. Finally, it's crucial to regularly review and refine your pipeline. Assessing the effectiveness of your lead generation strategies help you understand what is working and what's not. Adjust your approach based on the data, whether that means refining your messaging, exploring new sources, or relocating resources to more successful tactics. To wrap up this session, here's a question for you. How do you currently manage your lead pipeline? What tools or strategies have you found most effective in keeping your leads engaged and converting them into clients? Let's discuss some of your experiences before we move on to our final thoughts. As we wrap up this section on lead generation strategies, let's take a moment for some final reflections. Networking, cold calling, and email marketing each offer unique benefits and can work together to create powerful lead generation strategy. For example, you might use networking to make initial connections, cold calling to reach out new leads, and email marketing to nurture and follow up. Integrating these strategies ensures that you're engaging potential clients through multiple channels, which can significantly increase your chances of success. Remember, the key to a successful lead generation approach is integration. By combining these different techniques, you create a more comprehensive and effective strategy. It's not about relying on just one method, but about leveraging each to complement the others. Lastly, always focus on continuous improvement. Regularly reviewing the effectiveness of your strategies allows you to adopt and refine your approach. Pay attention to what works and be willing to make changes based on results and feedback. This iterative process helps ensure that your lead generation efforts remain effective and aligned with your goals. Before we move on, I'd love to hear from you. How do you currently integrate different lead generation strategies? Have you found a particular combination to be specifically effective? Let's discuss your insights and experiences. Thank you all for your participation in today's session. We've covered a lot of ground from networking and cold calling to email marketing and building a strong client pipeline. These lead generation strategies are critical as you work towards growing your client base, as it is important to continually refine and improve your approach. Remember, integrating these different techniques and regularly assessing their effectiveness will help you build a robust client acquisition strategy. Your success lies in staying adaptable and committed to finding what works best for you or your business. Now, as we look ahead to our next session, we'll be diving into sales techniques and negotiation. This is where we'll focus on how to convert that leads you've generated into clients and master the art of negotiation to close deals that benefit both you and your clients. It's a crucial step in the journey from lead generation to successful client acquisition. I'm excited to continue this journey with you in our next session. See you soon. Bye.